All right, guys, Palmetto Dissident, and I'm going to try to keep this to be a brief tabletop comparison of two different Glock chassis systems. This is the micro conversion kit by Command Arms Accessories, and this is the Recover 2020 or Recover Tactical 2020 chassis. Both of them have stabilizing braces on them, so therefore they do not require NFA registration. I'm sure most of us probably already understand that. They've both been safety checked. Magazines are full, chambers are empty. That's the way they're going to remain for the duration of the video. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just get right into it. So we're going to start with price. And this is a Gen 1 with the short stabilizer brace as far as the micro conversion kit goes. And the full kit for these now on their website are like $275. The Recover Tactical, the full kit, which is what I purchased as well. And I just got this probably less than a month ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. The full kit for this system is right around $200, so 190 bucks is before taxes, shipping, etc. So this one is noticeably cheaper or less expensive. All right. Full kit for the micro conversion kit consists of the chassis itself, the single point sling, flashlight that mounts in this little slot up here, like a custom fit type of deal. It's kind of shitty. It's not great at all. It's okay for like across a house or a structure, you know, down a hallway, something like that. Anything more than that, it's not really great for any of that kind of stuff. It's not really punching through photonic barriers or anything like that. So don't expect that. And then you also get these flip up sights, which are pretty shitty. They're just kind of AR style flip up sights, and they're cheap plastic, and they don't lock in the up position. So that's kind of a drawback for me. But you do get some sights, and you also get two of these hand stops right here. One for each side. I only have one mounted. One thing of note is that the chassis itself is already designed to hold an additional magazine up here in the grip. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and ditch this sling just for real estate purposes because we don't have a lot of space to deal with, and I'll just toss that over there out of the way. So the full kit for the Recover 2020 is it consists of the chassis. You get two separate charging handles that mount to the slide of the firearm. If you're not running a slide mounted red dot, obviously that negates that. But you do get two different size charging handles. You also get a sling that's made out of shot cord. I did not like that at all, so I went with just a 550 cord sling. Very simple, very minimalist, but it works, and it gives you a way to go hands-free if you need to. And then you also get this mag holder right here, which is removable. You have to take this on and off to remove or install the handgun in the chassis. And then you also get, which I thought was really awesome, is this paddle holster. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. And you can utilize the paddle holster with the light and all that stuff. And you can stow the brace with the holster. And I'll cut in a picture of what it looks like with me wearing the holster. So that's pretty cool. And I know some folks have expressed their desire to, or I guess their, the fact that they dislike not having a manual safety on something that is filling the role of a PDW. I get that. As we know, Glocks don't have a traditional manual safety. They have several other safeties, including a trigger safety, but no thumb safety, no switch or anything like that we would commonly see or more traditionally see. I get it, but this right here does afford you the ability to have the trigger guard covered and have the trigger shrouded. If you did want to, say, carry this in a bag with the chamber loaded, that's up to you. That's totally your decision. I'm not advising you one way or the other. But this is better than nothing, like having just an open trigger guard, which is obviously a no-go for sure. So this right here may possibly give you a way to get around that. But again, that is totally up to you. That's not something that I've done, but you know, you do what you want to. Just be safe and be smart about it. So let's go on to what's next. So obviously we can look and see the size difference, even with the braces folded, going apples to apples. This is a more compact design. We can look top down and see how wide this one is compared to this thing. It's just kind of a chungus. I mean, it's a chunky boy. So, and it's just kind of awkward, and it's just a large chassis system, in my opinion. Compared to something like this is much easier to work with. And I generally will go ahead and tell you that I like this far more than I like the MCK. I've had the MCK for a while. I've just had this for a little bit, but I'm definitely seeing some attributes of this and seeing the way that it has corrected some of the shortcomings that I had personally experienced with the MCK. So let's see, firing. Let's talk about firing and the brace, whether it's deployed or stowed. So we'll talk about the Recover Tactical in a moment. Let's talk about the MCK. The MCK doesn't even really allow you to get a firing grip with the brace stowed, as you can see here. You could access the trigger from this side, but also the way that it's set up with the charging handle, it is definitely obviously going to be reciprocating because the slide has to move. And if you see it resting at the rear of the slot on the brace, if you were able to fire it, you would get one shot, and then you would have to deploy the brace, and then you'd have to rack the slide, and then you could go ahead and continue firing if you didn't somehow induce a goofy ass malfunction in that course of action. So not great, right? You can't, so long story short, you can't fire this thing with the brace stowed. You have to deploy it first. The Recover Tactical, you can acquire a firing grip with one hand, both hands, or you can just go ahead and deploy the brace. But either way, there are no interferences with you being able to access the grip and have a normal firing grip and access the trigger with ease. So you can shoot this thing however you want to, whether it's folded or with the brace deployed. So that's an obvious win for the Recover Tactical as well, in my opinion. To me, that's a no-brainer. So moving right along, again, like I said, this is the MCK. This is the Gen 1, and compatibility for this one, and they make them for different guns. So you have to go to the website and check it out if that's something that interests you. But this one will accept the Glock 17, 19, 19X, 22, 23, 31, 32, or the Glock 45. But it will not accept Gen 1 or Gen 2 Glocks. So pretty straightforward. Whereas the Recover Tactical will accept Gen 1 through 5 Glocks in 9mm and 357 auto double stack. And it'll also accept Gen 1 through 4 40 cal double stack Glocks. And this also does include the Glock 26. Yes, the Glock 26 will fit in the Recover 2020 brace, and as well as the 40 cal and 357 auto counterparts in that format, which are the Glock 27 and the Glock 33. So that's a clear win for me as well. They also make one of these that is designed to accept polymer 80 frames. And as you'll notice, this is a PSA Dagger compact frame, and it fits fine and functions in the Recover Tactical brace, but it will not fit in the micro conversion kit. It won't go. It's not happening. I've tried. So again, that's another way that the Recover Tactical brace beats the MCK, in my opinion. Another thing worth mentioning is we have to talk about optics. So as you can see, the Recover Tactical allows you to mount a Glock or install a Glock in it with a slide mounted red dot, which to me is optimal for this type of setup. You can also run it with just iron sights, but you have to get really low on the gun and get it really up high and do some weird stuff with the cheek weld to be able to actually acquire the sights. So again, to me, I think that the slide mounted red dot is the way to go, and I'm really digging that setup. Whereas with the MCK, you cannot, that is not an option for you. As you can see, there's no way that's going to work for you. But you do get a polymer Picatinny rail on the top here, and you can upgrade at an additional cost and go with an aluminum rail. So you'll have to mount your optics up top on the rail, and that's just the way it is. So for what that's worth, that's the way it is. Also, Recover Tactical makes a brace, or excuse me, a mount that installs here on the side of the frame of the chassis, and it stands up over the slide, and it gives you a Picatinny, several slots of Picatinny section to mount a red dot or some sort of an optic up there if you want to. I think those are like 30 or 40 bucks in addition if you want to buy that as an add-on. And also of note, that is made out of polymer, and from what I've seen on the internet, it does have a little bit of flex to it, which may or may not affect your zero. Again, that's one of those things that for me, I will just stick with this setup because I know that my zero is true. Everything's nice and solid, and I don't have to worry about any kind of issues with maintaining my zero that way. So to me, that's a no-brainer. And I'm also not adding an additional piece and component, which is going to make it bigger, bulkier, and increase the footprint of it, and also increase its likelihood of snagging, because at the end of the day, we're looking at this as being a PDW style setup that's probably going to live in some sort of a bag most of its time until you need it. So to me, that would kind of negate the entire concept of the PDW by adding and hanging just a bunch of extra shit off of it. Even the TLR 7 Alpha might be a bit much, but I just mounted it because I had it on my handgun, and I figured why not. I'd try it out on here, and I've liked it so far. It hasn't given me too many issues, and it still works with the holster, and I can still stow the brace, and I can still do all the things. There are no issues there. So to me, a pretty well engineered and thought out design with the Recover Tactical brace overall. Also, last point I wanted to discuss is how you assemble, we'll call it assembling, the chassis, basically putting a handgun in and out of the chassis. We'll talk about the MCK first. It's pretty simple, and I will just show you because it's so easy. So we come right here, press this button, slide that gate back, fold it down, come right here, pull these two tabs, slide it back, and then drop the pistol out, and then it's out. Go back in. We're gonna slide it up in there, and you got to get it aligned with the serrations on the charging handle. Push it forward, you hear it click. That's where those tabs lock in on the accessory rail, and then push up and forward, and she's locked in. So really easy to install or remove the handgun from the MCK chassis. Their design is just faster and easier, and you don't require any tools, as you can see, as I clearly demonstrated there. Now, when we look at the Recover Tactical, what we have to do is flip it over. We'll have to remove this grip right here. Once we take that off, that's actually a angled magazine carrier, ATF, just so you know, just for the record, keep shit straight over here. Anyway, we will set aside our angled mag carrier, and then we will need an Allen wrench, which does come with the Recover Tactical brace, and then we will loosen this bolt right here with the provided Allen wrench. And also you want to make sure that your brace is stowed. And then once we get this taken loose, then it will hinge open like so, and then we can remove the handgun. And then when we're ready to reinstall the handgun, goes right in there, make sure everything's lined up nicely, and then get it back together like so. And then we just tighten up our bolt one more time until the gap up here in between the chassis closes. You don't have to go too tight, snug it up. And then we can replace our other accessories, whatever they may be. For me, that is the angled mag carrier. And then now we're back together. So you do have to have the Allen key or Allen wrench and you have to do a few more steps to actually take the handgun in and out of the Recover Tactical chassis. So I think I've covered everything that I wanted to, and I'm at like 15 minutes. So I am not going to waste anybody's time, and that is all I have to say about these two systems. And to me, the Recover Tactical brace is the superior choice here, and that's just my opinion. Your mileage may vary, but that's what I got for you guys. I'll see y'all on the next one. I am out of here.